Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Grown Ups, the podcast. Hey, Ellie, how you, girl?
Hey girl, I'm good. I'm good. Happy Monday, everybody. Maggie, you're looking fine today, girl. You're looking refreshed, bright. How are you? Yeah, I'm looking sleep deprived and I've even got a cold.
No,
I'm not giving spring summer vibes.
I would be sleep. I am sleep deprived, but I put on makeup because I've got some in-person meetings today.
Oh, lovely. I'm loving it. And guys, if you listened to, I think it was the episode before where Maggie talked about her dress sense going to work. Look at her today in this vibrant blue shirt.
Don't kill
Loving
me.
it. Loving it. But yeah, I don't really have any life updates for you, darling, other than tomorrow I start. Tomorrow is my first day in my new team. Eek. I joined a call yesterday just for, by the way, guys, sorry, it's a Tuesday when we're recording today. But I joined a call yesterday and I thought they just wanted me to sit there to like just get a feel for it because obviously I haven't joined the team yet. And then they were like, "So Ellie, what do you think about this city now that you've been there in this location?" And I was just like, "No, don't test me, please." luckily, luckily, I like was fine and gave my response, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we agree." But I was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be those." I'm super excited. Like, I think I'm really gonna enjoy it.
Yeah,
But it's gonna be, do you know, that transition period? You obviously know because you're in it currently as well.
yeah,
But yeah, that initial transition where you're trying to prove yourself, and it's like back to the drawing board kind of thing.
yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. But I'm like, I've met like one of your colleagues from your new
Oh
team,
yeah.
so they seem lovely, and at least you'll have a better work-life balance because that's really what you were missing.
Honestly, I'm so excited. I haven't even joined the team. I've already been out for two team lunches. I joined
Oh,
their group call yesterday. We've got another team lunch booked in 2 days out. I was
oh,
like, guys, this is my kind of team. Like, I can vibe with you.
yes, I love that.
Yeah, there's a really good work life balance. Um, but yeah, no life updates from me, darling. What's going on in the world of Meggie?
So on that note,
Yes.
literally, Ellie, yesterday was such a day.
Oh
Like
no.
anxiety was through the roof. Basically, so I've been hired as a senior technical analyst, yeah,
Yeah.
and other people on my team are just analysts. And I've been, it's really difficult because I've been put on these projects, and one of them, it was really clear to me like, you're the final pen holder, like, you decide what goes in and what doesn't, and what comes out. So cool. So I'm leading that project, fine. Then I got put on another project with and one of my colleagues who's on it, he is just an analyst, and
Mhm.
I'm meant to be senior. But when we got the task, he just went and did it. So he asked me to review his work, and I was like, oh, maybe like the man. Sorry, breaking. Maybe the manager told him that like he needs to lead on this one, and just for me to supervise.
Mhm.
I should have asked, to be honest. But anyways, this is the guy that did the work on Friday that was like, oh my gosh, like this is all wrong. Like there's no need for any of this. So
Yeah.
yesterday I had my one-to-one with my manager, and she was like, I can really see that you're leading on project blah blah. What happened on project blah blah? And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, like, why are you taking a back seat? Like, I want you to be the driver and you took a back seat on that. I've hired you at level blah blah. These men are at level blah blah. Like, you should be leading the project. Like, I've hired you as a senior technical analyst for you to be a senior technical analyst. And I was so gagged because I haven't been like told off or anything. And
Yeah,
I
my
was literally
toast.
like, but she also has a point. Like, I completely understand where she's coming from. And she was like, she was trying to be nice about it. Like she was
Yeah.
like, I hired you for this job because you're capable, so do it. Like why are you being comfortable, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I realized that like I came into this team and I'm trying to be like buddy buddy with everyone, but I think I came in too friendly. That now it
Yeah.
looks like I think I didn't realize, or maybe like obviously I know, but I think because everyone else has been doing this job for much longer than me, I feel uncomfortable coming in and telling people like what to do, and when they've been doing it a certain way this whole time.
Yeah.
And it was really like, bro, I wanted, like, she literally was like, you asked for this, like you wanted more responsibility. You want,
Shit.
yeah, fam. And I was like, no, you're right. You're actually right. She was like, so act like it. Like, you've got the position, now act like it. And I was really stressed, but it was also like, that was the kick up the ass that I needed,
Yeah.
because I haven't been stepping into my role as I should. And I'm glad that she said something, because now I'm like, okay, she's never going to tell me that again. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to tell me twice, and I'm going to act accordingly. But it was literally like, sometimes it's like,
On a fucking
you're
Monday as well. Whew.
on a Monday. And I was like, I was really deep in like, sometimes you ask for something and then you get it, and like, okay, act like it then. Like, and if
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the person that I'm trying to be, this is like a key skill I need to have. I need to know how to lead people and how to
Yeah.
guide people and how to say no and all of this. So it was just a bit like yesterday, like the whole day I was just like, like,
Yeah,
I
you're
went
just
to my spin
it's
class.
replaying in your head. Oh, bruv, yeah, that spin class must have been good yesterday. You would have been there like,
Yeah.
come on, bitch.
No, I was literally like really mentally talking to myself. But I did,
Mm.
because I was so unfit going to this spin class, by the way, I threw up in my mouth. It was
Oh, I hate
disgusting.
that.
Yeah,
That's
it
definitely
was
happened to me before. It's
disgusting.
horrid.
Horrible. But no, after that, I literally, so my friend has a masterclass account, which is like that
Oh.
app where there's loads of masterclasses from like CEOs and some celebrities and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great.
Um, and she can share her pass. So I went on masterclass last night. Now there's literally one about like public speaking and leading and all of this, and all of it was really good. Like even like Bill Clinton was on there, like giving advice and stuff like that. But the one that hit me the most was RuPaul, whom I love.
Yeah,
Um, he was
icon.
like, when you go and you're like leading something or you're doing anything, step into your frequency. And what that means is, like, outside of work, I'm so confident. You can't tell me anything. I'm very comfortable in who I am. I like who I am.
Yeah.
And I need to step into that frequency. Like,
Hmm.
why am I not stepping into that frequency at work? Why? Why? And
Preach it.
he was also like, you need to step in that room like everyone already respects you. Like you
Yeah.
already have unconditional love from these people. You don't, but fake the scenario that you do, and you will act accordingly. And I think I just, yesterday was such a kick up my ass, but I think I needed it to really start stepping into this person that I'm trying to become. Oof.
Girl, I have no doubt, yeah, that that whole situation will actually be like so pivotal for you. And like even I can tell with the relationship you have with your manager that she was coming from such a good place. And
Yeah, for
sometimes you don't
sure.
need this soft love. You need this, you are a boss. You asked for this, sort it out kind of love. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, she's got your back. You've got this. Go put people in their places. Like, tell them, you know your shit.
No, now I feel like I've literally been given the green light to do so, which I
Yeah.
already had. So it's my fault for not acting on it before. But even at the end, she was like, are you okay? Like, I don't want to like discourage you. And I was like, no, you need to tell me exactly as it is. You're telling me to
Yeah.
step my shit up. I'm going to step my shit up. Like, I'm not going to cry about this.
Yeah.
Obviously, after I was like, ah, but I needed to hear that like 100%.
No, I love that. I have no doubt that actually that will like proper push you now going forward.
Yeah,
I love the
exactly.
honesty. People who are here to support you, but they'll also tell you as it is. That is a skill that I do not have. I sugarcoat fucking everything and it just
Same.
does not get translated properly.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm excited for your journey. Like I am in no way, shape, or form ready for any form of leadership. And I just, yeah, exactly what you said, like coming into a team, a new team, like moving companies or moving just teams internally. That is something I worry about in the future. Like, how do you embed yourself in a team with authority when you're the new one?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm so keen to like follow you on this journey. Um,
Oh,
and I can't
let's
wait for
see.
you to listen back to this episode in 6 months or a year's time and be like, why was I worried?
Oh
Mate.
gosh, I hope so. Because stepping into something, it's uncomfortable. But guess
Yeah.
what? I asked to be uncomfortable, so why am I complaining?
Yes. Being out of your comfort zone leads to growth, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah.
all for it. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, career progression. This is what we like to see on our podcast on a Monday morning. Guys, but it wouldn't be our podcast, yeah, if we didn't talk about the weather. Because,
It's so true.
guys, we're now in May and it's giving spring. It's beautiful. I mean, I have a cold for some unknown reason, but this weather has brightened my mood. I'm gassed.
Me too.
Meanwhile, a couple weeks ago, this is our news story of the week, guys. Bruv, what's happening in Dubai?
What is happening in Dubai?
The article says global heating and urbanization to blame for severity of UAE floods, study finds. Scientists said downpours such as this one have become 10 to 40% heavier in the region as a result of human caused climate disruption, while a lack of drainage quickly turned roads into rivers. At least 23 people died in floodwaters, including 10 children, in a school bus that was swept away after
Damn.
regions of the Arabian Peninsula were indulged by extreme rainfall on the 16th to 17th of April. Dubai received more than 14 centimetres of rain in the space of 24 hours, equivalent to a year and a half of their average precipitation.
What the hell?
Yeah, bruv, it's mad. It says this was the heaviest downpour since records began in 1949. Across the UAE and Oman, the flooding caused huge damage to buildings, cars, power failures, and school closures. More than 1,000 flights were cancelled, causing several days of delays after the runway was flooded at Dubai Airport, the world's busiest international airport. Bruv, what is going on? Like, Dubai's meant to be utopia, like, or the urban jungle form of utopia. Like, this amazing place where nothing bad happens, everyone's super rich, and it literally looks like it's out of a magazine or some form of AI. Like, mental that they can't even cope with rain.
This looked like it was out of a horror film. Like, I saw our girl Angel, who did an interview with
Mm.
us in season one about what it's like to be cabin crew. She lives in Dubai, and I don't know if you saw her story when she posted, like, it. All the planes would literally look like they were in the ocean, and obviously they weren't. It was just the airport, but it was that wet that I was like, girl, did you crash? Like, it looked mad. It looked
I
so
missed that.
crazy.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a few videos and I was just like, Lord Jesus, climate change is actually scary. We're so lucky living in London. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a little bit too close to the Thames for my liking, but we are very fortunate. Like, we have little bits of flooding here and there. Um, but when areas in England and London have flooded like mad, I've always been okay. Touch wood.
Yeah,
Um, Crazy scary though. I just saw that and I was like, do you know what? We always talk about the weather on this podcast, so it feels very topical.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I'm so sad that kids died. I didn't actually know that until I read the article. I didn't know anyone died.
I didn't know that either. Which article was this? Like,
The
do you know what?
Guardian.
Oh, so it's even trusted. Because the thing
Yeah.
is, I know Dubai do cloud seeding, where they
Mm.
like create rain basically. So, but this wasn't that then. This was actually just
Yeah, no, all of the
the
articles that I
climate.
was looking at, yeah, they said that it wasn't to do with that. People were speculating. But apparently, do you know when we did, guys, if you did geography at any form of in any stage of your life, do you know the El Nino and the El Nina? It was something to do with that.
El Nino, La Nina, yeah.
Yeah. But Van's not trying to refresh my knowledge on that because my little brain cannot take it. Um, yeah, mental though.
But this is what's
Hopefully.
going to keep on happening. Obviously, like, this is kind of the field that I work in, and
Mm,
weather's going to get more extreme. Even like, if you look at how delayed spring has come into, it's like our seasons are shifting a little bit. I remember
yeah.
like last year, September was still kind of warm. So it does feel like the seasons are changing. And we're entering an era of unpredictability, and it's really scary.
Yeah, I agree. The one that really gets me, this flooding is wild, but do you know all the bushfires in like California and Australia? Those
Scary.
ones. And the year where our parks were just brown. Like, I remember going to the park
Yeah.
and it literally looked like the middle of the freaking desert. It was so depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I've like obviously our girls likes to travel, and um like I'll be swimming and stuff and seeing coral, and the coral is
Mm,
literally bleached. Like there's no denying it's not colorful. It's insane.
yeah.
like what's happening to this world is
So sad.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Boy,
that
oh
lovely note.
boy. On that note, shall we get into our favourite feature?
Yeah, so in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch, I was heading to a meeting with my colleague. We were discussing what we were going to say in the meeting while simultaneously trying to navigate our way through a busy train to find a free seat. Finally, we found two seats, but as I bend over to sit down, still concentrating on the conversation, I realized someone else, oh no, had beat me to the seat and landed straight in their
Oh,
lap.
that is so awkward.
I wanted the ground to swallow me whole, and by the time I recovered, all the available seats were taken. Let's just say it was a very awkward train journey.
In front of a colleague as well. Bruv, do you know getting a free seat on a train is actually like a fucking sport?
It is. It is.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just know what else is a sport? Knowing where the doors are.
That I've literally mastered that recently. And
Yeah.
yesterday, when I got on the train, I was like, I got it right. Like now I know
Yeah.
exactly the spot to go to. And also knowing the spot where it's best to get off at the station you're getting off at. Like, do you want to be down there or do you want to be down here? Oh,
Yeah.
it's a skill.
City mapper is ace for that. It tells you where you're going, what end of the
Oh,
train to be at. It's so good.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Oh, I love City Mapper. Honestly, the best app ever invented for travel.
Love that. Okay.
So good. But yeah, whoever wrote this in peak times, well,
Peak. That is
that's
so peak.
really embarrassing, especially in front of a colleague. But such is life. I'm sure after the meeting you forgot about it. Hopefully.
Hopefully, they're probably still thinking about it till this day.
Yeah. Oh, that is horrible. Um, we also have a dilemma for you guys today. And it says, hey girls, absolutely adore your rawness on this pod, so thank you. Cute. I'm looking for some advice. I work in what is referred to as a low skilled job, while my boyfriend works in finance. And while he's still very young, he is very well respected. My boyfriend has invited me to his work summer and Christmas socials since we got together. And we have started hosting a few of his junior work colleagues at ours of a weekend for barbecues or dinner parties. That is so like, it's given professional.
It's given
It's given
adult.
adult,
Yeah.
yeah. I absolutely dread these events slash socials as I cannot talk shop and I often feel very inferior in terms of intelligence, pay, and what I have achieved. We have a
Aw.
few, I know that is actually shit. We have a few booked in over the coming bank holiday weekends, etc. And I just want to know if you have any advice because it's making me super anxious. Thanks, girls.
Aw. Um. Oh, it's difficult, especially
Yeah.
because, like, even when I hang out with colleagues, the conversation somehow ends up going into work, and then we're talking about like something industry related. And if she's the only person who's not in industry, I can understand how you feel a fish out of water.
Yeah. Do you know what though? This whole low skilled, high skilled, or whatever it's called, like professional jobs. But these low skilled jobs are hard.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
I think like okay, like some of us were privileged and we got to go to university and get a 9 to 5, if that's
Mm.
even a privilege, because that is the ghetto too. And that's what we do every day. So it's easy to talk corporate stuff because that's what we're doing every day. Doesn't mean we have more or less skills. It's just a different skill we're tapping into. Like whatever job this person does, it doesn't mean it's low skill. They just have different skills. So first of all, let's change that frame of mind.
Yeah, like don't feel like you haven't achieved as much as them just because you work a different job. Um, every job on this world, on this earth, exists for a reason. They're all important and they're all helping society to like grow and exist. Like
Yeah.
every job is important. Your job is super important and never let anyone tell you otherwise. Yeah, as Maggie said, in terms of the work chit chat, like I'll be honest, if I'm with my younger colleagues, it's rare that we ever talk work. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that is not our bag. But if they are, I mean, it's up to you. You could like speak to your partner, learn a bit about the topic. I don't know what part of finance they work in, but it might actually be quite interesting. otherwise, like, are they bringing their partners? Do their partners work in different industries? Can you tap into that and just get to know them on like a deeper level? Maybe because you've only just started doing this, if you have, it's quite like surface level and it's still work chit chat. You don't know each other that well. Um, yeah, that's quite hard.
I would say, one, your partner should, it's your partner's job bringing
Mm.
you into the group to make you feel comfortable. So I'm already even getting mad that he hasn't.
Yeah,
That's number one. Number two, I think what you can do is like maybe introduce like a dinner game to this evening. Like it can be
yeah,
like maybe like icebreaker questions where you can ask like questions outside of work. Like I'm just thinking of the thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, the time left thing,
yeah.
where you ask like, okay, like what's someone's worst dating story or something, like just something to get people to talk about themselves other than not work.
Mm.
Or just having like a playing a card game or something, like some doing some sort of game which takes you outside of talking about finance, because I work in finance. Please, for someone who doesn't work in finance, there's nothing interesting going on there. Like you do not want to listen to that. um so yeah, that would be my suggestion, but definitely talk to your partner. Like they should try it to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, like, maybe just ask your partner to say, guys, look, no work chat today. Let's keep it light. It's the
Mm,
weekend. Who's talking about
yeah,
work on the weekend, boy?
come on.
These are days of rest or enjoyment. Please.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just do that. It would be strictly no work chat, guys. Done. And then everyone can just have a good time. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, don't ever let that make you feel inferior because please, every job is important.
100%. Like come on.
Yeah.
No one's higher than anyone in real life.
No. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Should we jump into our poll?
Yes.
Right, on the topic of work, I this was a while ago now, but I was at my sister's house on the weekend having a barbecue. Um it must have been like really shit weather, but we had a barbecue anyway. I'm not sure why, because it was a
Yeah, I was
couple months
saying
ago.
oh, a couple months ago. Okay. No, but even then, yeah, the heater
Yeah.
must have been on, boy.
Um yeah, actually I think we have garden heaters and a cheeky monkey. But
Oh,
basically they were like talking about working for your lunch, and Billy works for his lunch every single day without fail. Like he just does not take lunch because where his job's manual, he's like, I'll get too tired. Like I'd rather just work through it and finish early.
mad.
Um, Whereas I'm like, I'll take it sometimes, but I don't think you should be forced not to take it. Like you're not paid.
Mm,
And my older sister, who's a solicitor, she was basically saying that she has like a secretary, a legal secretary, and she needed something done urgently, and it was the girl's lunch break, and she was
mm,
like, "Can you do this for me?" And her secretary was like outraged at the fact that she had asked her to do something during her lunch break, and my sister
okay.
was like, "Are you joking? This is urgent. You can just take your lunch break after." And like we were debating back and forth, and I was kind of the opinion like, there's someone's. I kind of get it now that I'm explaining it to you, but in the moment, I was like, "Girl, that's her lunch break. Leave her alone." Like,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
vibes. Um, but yeah, it got me thinking. Like, what is the general culture in people's firms? Do people work for their lunch break? Is this just like a British European expectation, or do most people have good boundaries? I remember when we first started this pod, we were like, "No, never work for your lunch break." How's
Yeah.
it stacking up for you now?
Oh, I was like, don't work for your lunch break. Clock out. Cock, you know.
Clock o'clock.
Clock out at 5:01. Like, don't let them
Yeah.
take any of your money. That's not working out well for me. The only it's difficult because there's a few factors that come into play. The first is that I work for a global company. So what
Yeah.
might be my lunch break is someone else's morning. And if that's the only time they can do, that's the only time they can do.
Mm.
That's one. Two, I procrastinate a lot. So often it gets to lunchtime and I'm like, shit, I was meant to do all of these things in the morning. I haven't done them yet. And now I've got Vim to let me do it.
That's me.
But however, I have to say, I can't concentrate if I'm hungry. So
Mm.
you're not you when you're hungry.
Have
So I
tickets.
do. I will have to eat something, but I might not just take a lunch break. Like I
Yeah.
might like take 5 minutes to eat something. However, when I'm in the office, I do find it better because everyone's like, "Oh, should we go for lunch?" So
Oh,
then
that's
I
really
find that
nice.
I need to go, like I have to start working kind of thing. Um, but no, it's difficult. I can't say every week I take a lunch break, but I definitely, it's not that like I'm working straight. I'm
Yeah.
procrastinating. I'm, I don't know, like not concentrating. So if I was working straight, like from 9 to 1, I'm like work, work, work,
Yeah.
I would 100% take a lunch break. But often I feel like I don't deserve it.
Yeah, I hear you. And sometimes you're just mad busy and then you'll have quiet periods. I feel like that's what it is with me. Like there's peaks and troughs. So sometimes you take it,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't. Sometimes I'll take over an hour and sometimes I won't
Yeah.
take any. Um so yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, luckily, like I feel like both of us don't work for anywhere mad strict where because I know have friends who they're clock watching, like they're clock watching when they should be back in their desk, and every minute counts, and that's just ridiculous.
Jeez.
Like at my company is not like that. But on this case of your sister,
Hmm.
I think like what's happening here is that secretary does not care.
Yeah.
Because if she cared, she'd be like, "Oh shit, yeah, like let's get this done." She's like, "No, these are my lunch. This is my lunch break." If your sister was like, "And you're not gonna take a lunch break for the whole day," but she was literally saying, "Just do this and then take your lunch break." Like, I don't think she's in the wrong.
Yeah, originally I was like, she's on her lunch. How can you disturb her? Blah blah blah. But actually, the more I think about it, yeah, the more it's not that deep. You have something urgent you need to get out, so just pause, assist, and go back to your lunch break. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like it's every day; it's once in a while. Um, but yeah, her secretary definitely doesn't give a shit. She just
she
does not
doesn't.
care.
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah, absolutely wild. And then my other sister's husband was like, I never take a lunch break. Like, we'll eat together and we'll like collaborate and work through stuff. And I was just like, oh
Oh no,
no.
come on.
Like sometimes some don't he is CFO, so
Oh, okay.
but but like, bruv, never having a lunch break. I'm not about that. Like,
Do you know what I
it's
find when
important to take
like
a break, take a walk.
yeah, if I eat lunch, like during a meeting, for example, which I rarely do, because I find that it's like I don't taste the food. It's like it's
Mm,
not going in me, and then I'm still hungry. I don't know what it is psychologically. It's like I need to concentrate on eating for because I get hungry so quickly.
yeah.
So if I'm not focusing on these chews that I'm chewing, it's like I've eaten nothing. So I will avoid at all cost eating and
Mm,
working at the same time, but sometimes I eat fast in it. So sometimes it'll be like a 5-10 minute break instead of
yeah.
an hour like I'm meant to take.
Yeah, same. I can't stand eating and working.
Hate it.
Bruv, even when I do it at my desk, so a lot of the time, historically, I would have so my team that I'm currently leaving, they all eat at their desk. Like that is just standard practice.
Hate that.
And I did for like quite a while. But I'm not really working because I'm just concentrating on getting my food down. So I may as well just take 10 minutes,
Exactly.
eat, and then come back. Like how many
That's
words am I
my
gonna
theory.
type in between spoonfuls of food? Not many.
Mm, exactly. And my brain's focusing on digesting, not the work. So it's not, whatever I do, it's not going to be really that good, is it?
Yeah, I actually duped is so counterproductive.
Same.
Yeah, so that's not my vibe. I definitely need a bit of a break. But the options were so the question was, do you work through lunch? And then the options were sadly yes, and pretty much every day. No way I could never, and sometimes if I have to.
Hmm.
24% said yes and pretty much every day,
Oh,
which I think is quite high.
that is quite high.
Like, bruv, if you're not taking a break, how many hours are you doing? Like, back to back, no break. And if you're getting in early, like I definitely, most of the time, get in early. So that's even longer of a day.
Yeah.
Damn. 32% said no way, I could never. So a decent amount. That's very impressive. Well done you for keeping your work-life balance. And then 44% said sometimes if I have to, which I think I expect it to be most people. Like there are times
Mm.
where you have to give up your lunch break.
Yeah, yeah.
Like needs must. And then people sent in a few comments. So what do we have?
Okay. So someone said, do not do it if you are not being paid for it.
I feel like that's very black and white.
It's very black and white.
And whilst I would agreed, as I always say, guys, on repeat, let me reiterate, I feel like you're being paid an experience.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
Guys, sometimes you can't always be paid in money. Like, money is not the only, what's the word? Like, transaction.
Currency.
Yeah, that's it. Money is not the only currency. That is exactly the word I was looking for. There's other ways you could be paid for your time. And so long as it resonates with you and what you're trying to achieve, then I think it's absolutely fine to work overtime or work through lunch. Like, if you're doing a job where you know you're not learning anything new, you're not getting any extra credits for this, it's not going to make you look good or make you more well known, then cool. Why am I giving you extra time? But if you're getting all of those things and more, then I'm not going to lie, I'm here for it every now and again.
Do you know what? I agree. And it's important to know your job and if it's actually providing you with something good. Because my job before, it wasn't a bad job. I enjoyed it. But me putting in overtime was not going to get me anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I didn't.
Yeah, fair. Cool.
And I think that's why I was often of the opinion of like, you clock out at 5:01.
Yeah.
Because me doing overtime was really just, I'm just doing overtime for fun. Like it's just to get tasks done. It's not actually to give me more experience or anything like that.
Yeah.
In this job, however, any overtime I do is actually actively helping me and it's actively growing my skills. So it is worth it. And I am being paid an experience in that sense. So I think it's important to know your job, whether it's worth putting in extra passion, energy, and footwork, if it's going to pay off or not.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's a time and a place. And also, like, not at the moment because I've been super quiet where I'm changing teams. But typically I would come in at 8 every day. So that's an extra hour unpaid overtime. But it actually just set me up right for the day and I felt better for it. Like if I came in at 9, I wouldn't necessarily be mad productive from 8 till 9. I'll make my breakfast, grab a drink, set up for the day, read emails. But I'd feel way lighter and so much better for it. Whereas if I'd come in at 9, I'd feel flustered. Everyone would be sat at their desks. I'd have emails incoming of work I had to do for that day. And it's just not a nice feeling. So sometimes, it just sets you up right for the day. And I'm not going to lose. What am I going to do with that extra hour of my time? Probably just sleep. And you can sleep when you're dead.
This sounds like we have such bad work-life balances. But I think it's just about knowing, one, what works for you. Like maybe for you, working in a condensed time, like you just need 3 hours and you'll get everything done. For me, I can't. I'm unable to focus intensely for that long. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And therefore, I need to stretch out a bit longer. And if it means I end up doing overtime, at least I've had a good day and I haven't been stressed all day and I've just paced myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. On that note, someone else said, hell no, that's unpaid overtime. You know what? Preach it. If that's your bag, then that's your bag. I'm honestly all here for it. As we said, depending on the role. And then someone else said, depends on the company culture. If everyone else does, then I will.
But then if it depends because I was at this company when, I'm still at the same company. I've just switched jobs.
Yeah.
And everyone has historically worked overtime, but I wasn't doing it then because it wasn't worth it for me. Now it's worth it for me, but I'm not following what the crowd are doing. Like if everyone's got a bad work-life balance, does it mean I have to have a bad one? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This one's giving peer pressure. If you want to take a lunch, please make sure you take your lunch. Like you are entitled to it. And unless you feel like it's going to dent your perception, people's perception of you, or it's going to impact your career and it's not worth it, then please take it. But again, if you're happy not to take it, it doesn't really affect you, then by all means, proceed with life as is.
I completely agree. Someone said, not unless asked for on an important project. And similarly, someone said, not religiously. Once in a while is okay when I'm super busy with work.
Yeah, I agree with those. That's my kind of take to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
100%.
take it and take longer if you're quiet. Sometimes don't take it at all. and just like quickly grab food, eat, and then come back.
Yeah, completely
Um,
agree.
Someone said, it depends. No day is the same for me. I might be traveling to and from meetings at lunchtime or in a meeting where lunch is provided, in which case I'm obviously not going to take it after. Unless you're Maggie and you haven't actually eaten because you weren't focusing on eating.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear this. I rarely have meetings over lunchtime. Because yeah, I don't work for like an international company or anything, but I can be traveling and I'll
Yeah,
just kind of take that time to like de-stress, check in with myself. And that can be my lunch break. And then maybe when I'm back in the office, I'll grab some food, but I won't take a full
yeah.
hour.
I can't eat on the commute either. Like for me, that's
No.
calories impossible. It's gone. Like it didn't go into my body. Don't know where it went. Or like eating. I don't know why I was so busy, but I've eaten on the go before, and I'm like I'm walking and like it feels like I'm burning off these calories as I'm eating them. Like it just doesn't work for me. I need to sit down and actually eat. But something
Yeah,
that my manager does is she just blocks out lunchtime in her calendar.
I like that.
Sometimes people take the piss and book something on anyways, but the intention is there. She's blocked out an hour from 12 till 1.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's when it's routine, yeah, people will clock on that you've not actually got a meeting and they'll just be like, well, fuck that, I need you.
Yeah.
She's just switch it up.
Yeah.
Like Mondays 12 till 1, Tuesdays 12:30 till 1:30.
Yeah.
Then people won't know. Um, but yeah, I hear that. Eating on a train just gives me the ick. Like,
Oh, disgusting.
that is not a
Disgusting.
vibe. Those table ones, maybe I can hack it. Like, the long distance trains, the proper trains, not the tubes,
Yeah. Yeah.
potentially, but still not a vibe. And eating whilst walking, I don't think I've ever done that.
Oh, it's
Impossible.
horrible. It's disgusting. Cannot do it.
Yeah, not a vibe. Someone else said, I think working through lunch is fine. It is very rare in my company anyway that people do not work overtime to fulfill their responsibilities. I would rather do this at lunch than after work.
True. Then you still end at the same time.
It
It's
does sound like a bit of
interesting.
an issue that they're saying you need to work overtime to fulfill your responsibilities. Maybe your responsibilities are a bit much.
Yeah.
But I do hear you in terms of work through lunch and finish on time, then take an hour lunch break and work an hour overtime after work.
But check them. Check them for real.
Yeah.
Because if they're giving you too many responsibilities, then the job description needs to be revised.
And the pay.
And the pay, most importantly. It's funny because I was just thinking about this. We're talking about like taking a lunch break. And it's funny because we have the choice. But like my dad, for example, he's a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And legally, he has to stop driving at a certain time and take 1 hour.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like they can get fined. So it's interesting depending on the industry. And maybe like I don't know, well, I was gonna say maybe nurses and stuff, but I feel like they work the most overtime, so probably not. But
Yeah.
it may be in some industries you do have to actually take a break.
Yeah, it's very true. And that might even be frustrating because you're just like, oh, I feel fine. I want to keep
Yeah.
going. I want to get there. But no, you have to stop.
No, my dad says that all the time. He's like, I'd rather just finish the job and like get home earlier than have to take this break, but it's legal
Yeah.
requirement.
Any more for any more?
Last one, I think taking a break, if not your full hour lunch break, but a short 10-15 minutes throughout the day is so important to help boost your productivity. 100%. And I do think that's why I procrastinate so much because I end up being at a desk for like 3 hours. And
Mm,
it's like, of course, your brain is not working. Like, you need to get up, walk around, do something, which I actually think being in the office helps with
yeah.
because I can talk to people to distract myself. I do too much. Um, or like to get up to go to the toilet is actually a bit of a journey in
Mhm.
comparison to if I was at home where it's literally over there. So I definitely think, or like getting up to make a tea or something, that definitely helps to break up my day a bit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually think this is quite nice. And even just leaving the office and going for a short walk or popping like
Mm,
outside to get a coffee and some fresh air
yeah,
is really important. Just make sure you take some breaks throughout the day. Don't just sit at your desk like a robot.
agreed.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
Great. Well, I think that's it.
That's a wrap. Happy Monday, everybody. Thanks again for listening. Please send your ideas, dilemmas, mistakes you've made at work, anything to grownupstothepodcast@gmail.com or
DM us at Grown Ups the Podcast.
Bye.
Bye.